Today we're back on the 1971 Firebird formula that I introduced in the last video that runs a little bit like... In the last video, I went through the carburetor, replaced the needle, accelerator pump. I adjusted the secondary doors, which is the most common cause of the quadrajet bog. I reset the float height because I accidentally set it a little too high and it leaked everywhere. Sorry. It ran a little better, but there is still something that is not happy. Let's fix it. Maybe. I had a sneaking suspicion that it's probably spark related, and I'm still riding that horse. Well, the last thing that I did was I advanced the timing just a little bit, and it did improve ever so slightly. I've had some time to think about it. Let's just assume that it is spark related. I think it has to do with advance not working properly. My thought is maybe that the advance that I gave it in the last video is sort of masking what's really going on within the distributor. The centrifugal force is not pushing those weights out for some reason. It's not enough and it's falling on its face. And can appear, by the way, like a rich condition. And I've already gone through the entire carburetor, so I don't think that's it. Maybe, possibly. Actually, I have no idea. But I sure as heck am not scared to dive in and figure it out. Anytime you're doing anything like this, the first thing you want to do is make sure that you identify where everything is. Take a good look. Take a picture. Let's find number one before we do anything else. Is this guy right here. There you are, number one. So I just found me a piece of blue tape to mark number one, because if I have number one, I can probably find everything else. If you're new to this whole thing, GMC, Chevys, and a lot of other vehicles fire in 1, 8, 4, 3, 6, 5, 7, 2 going clockwise. What that means is that's the order in which the cylinders are firing. Pontiacs, being the weirdos that they are counterclockwise. So I always find it funny when people think that the Pontiac 350 and the Chevy 350 are the same, or they think that Pontiac and Chevy are the same because Camaros and Firebirds and Trans Ams look very similar. No, not at all. Okay, so I also need to mark this guy right here as number one, and ideally I would just use a paint marker. And this is just for the sake of being easy in the future, potentially. I'm just gonna stuff it down in here instead, so when it falls out, we're future Logan's problem. But that's not all we have to do before we get to ripping this stuff out. I'm gonna take the coil off to get it out the way, so we have a little bit more room back here to work on the distributor. And let's set that just out of the way. Before you even start something like this, you'd probably want to put it at top dead center.
The illusion is that he's standing.
Top dead center on cylinder number one, which means that the cylinder number one is all the way at the top on its
compression stroke.
But I'm not going to do that. Putting it at top dead center, compression stroke, lets you know without any guesswork where you are in that firing order. But you can do it other ways too. Just know that I don't really condone that. So let's pull the distributor cap off. Let's see where the rotor's pointed, because that's gonna be most important to figure out where we are in the firing order currently. And also, take note of where the vacuum advance canister is. Right there. That was uneventful. Oh wow, the cap looks really good. It looks basically brand new. Okay, so that's not an issue. Just for the gits and shiggles of it all, let's make note of where it is. Maybe I'll need this, maybe I won't, but it doesn't hurt to do it. So what I'm gonna do is do this right here. That's where it's pointed. Oh, can't get it in the hole. So here's the mechanical advance that we were talking about. Centrifugal force overcomes the spring tension here. These would flop open and add, you know, as you can see, a little bit more advance. I'm gonna ignore this completely and just pull the distributor out. Holy jeez. Bit by bit. Almost. Almost. Oh, there we go. So the original plan was to dive into this thing and just see what's going on. It could be a condenser, which some people argue about what even is the purpose of those things. Don't ask me, I don't know. It could be the points, it could be whatever's coating all of this. It could be all those things, but I'm gonna take the easy way out. Oh, well look at that. On the surface, these might appear to be very similar, and I mean, they are. Can you tell what the difference is? What about now? Can you tell? What is missing? This one has a Petronix conversion kit. So it does away with the whole points setup, and the only thing you really have to worry about on this is the air gap between this base plate and this guy. It should function and work fine, assuming that this is in fact our problem. But let's just get this hooked up, fire it up, and see if anything changes. This is hopefully where our pre-planning has helped us out. So as long as we drop it in, and it's gonna wanna spin a little. Let's get our pointer. Yeah, we're definitely off. So let's spin this back a couple teeth. What about now? Boom, right there. And the vacuum canister was around in here somewhere. And we should be okay if we did things right. I'm gonna leave it a little loose so we can adjust the timing a little bit. We will leave the vacuum advanced unplugged while we do timing, by the way. Let me get the cap lock down here, and then we'll move on to this, because this is slightly different than the other guy. This guy has 2 wires, and as you might be able to guess, red positive, black negative. Okie dokie, so I got it all in place and hooked up. I'll put number 1 back in. Make sure I take my tape out. We should be good to go. I think if we've done everything that we're supposed to do, it should be good to try and fire up and see how it does. Fingers crossed that it actually makes a difference, because if not, then that sucks. There's something else going on, which I will investigate. I can't see anything, anyone. Get out of the way. We made marks to try to do the best that we could to make sure that we put this thing back in place where it was, so we didn't have to do any extra work. Assuming that everything goes together, everything still works properly, and we hooked everything up, which I think we didn't forget anything, it should fire off. I always err on the side of a little bit too advanced, because the worst that can happen is that it's just gonna start hard, and it'll run fine at idle. Then I'll back it down and we'll go from there. Anyway, I'm not gonna cut this. You're gonna see just as is. Oh, ow. In here and idle and warm up. Ah, dang it, I missed it. Okay. Still smells rich. But it's also cold. It's been sitting here idling for a handful of minutes now. We'll give it a couple revs and see what happens. Whoo, I'm kind of nervous. Whoa! Oh yeah. Oh my! I think we did it. I don't know why I'm so excited. Let me put the camera down and give you some from behind? From the back? That doesn't sound right. Let me give you some revs and some idles from behind. here idling in the background, I want to take an opportunity to say that what I did here was absolutely not groundbreaking. And it basically cost me nothing to fix this other than a little bit of time and the Petronix kit, which you can go out and get for $150. My uncle restored this car when I was really, really little. This has been my favorite car that he's ever had. And it has done more sitting than driving, and that's because the car has just never run right, and it's always seemed to be like one thing after another. And I wanted to get it done before he got back so that they could take it out on its maiden voyage to see if it is in fact fixed, like I think it is. Fingers crossed. Serious me for just a second. I want to say thank you for over 1,000 subscribers, which to some doesn't sound like a big deal. I started this channel to document my own progress on my own projects, really, so when I get older I don't forget. This channel has sort of morphed. At first it was just doing the things that were mine, and now it's morphed into helping other people. I may not be the best for the job, but I am not scared to get in and make a mistake and learn from that mistake, if that means inspiring people to just get their hands dirty. I want that to live on. So whether that's for one person, 1,000 people, 1,000,000 people, and that means a lot. Anyway, thank you. Thank you again for subscribing. Please, if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.